Professor Vishwanatharao, Mr. Srikanth, Dr. Kamal, distinguished faculty, uh, students, friends, warm good morning. At the outset, I'd like to thank Baselios College and CSI for having given me an opportunity to share a few thoughts on this occasion. Looking at the background of the training program, I am reminded of my own college days when I used to be a participant in many of the training sessions. Before going to the college, after the +2 holidays, people were saying C programming very important. So if you learn C, the chances of getting placement in college is very bright. So I attended a course for 1 month before going to joining my engineering course. Generally after +2 till engineering, there will be substantial. In those days we used to have 3 months gap. So what to do? So go and learn C. And after learning C, when I joined the first year college, they said C is structured, now you have to learn C++. If you learn C++, also your chances further brighten in placement arena. So then I learned C++. Then it was nearing 3rd year, they said C++ is there, but Java JDUE has really caught up like fire. I'm talking about early 2000s. So if you attend Java and then JDUE courses, Sun certified Java, now it is Oracle certified. Those time it was Sun certified Java professional, that was like big craze. Even the Sun certified Java professionals had a big priority when they were applying for US visas, H1B and all those times. It was a big asset. Then they said if you look at the Java JDUE, then there is a huge chance. So I learned that also, but then I didn't appear for the certification. Then I got placed in TCS. First time they gave me programming, so I was working on VC++ and then Cold Fusion. Absolutely nothing much connected to all those things that what was learned in the past. So in that context, I would like to mention a point before I would like to share broad perspectives on digital India. That a programming skill is an art, and if a person is a good programmer, he or she can quickly grasp the technologies of what other platforms offer, and then they will be able to dynamically scale themselves up. So I would request that the art should not be compared with various technologies which come. The core of a training program should be on how do we write effective programming, the structures, the functions, how analytically a software can think, how smart a software can be. These are the qualities which will eventually help an individual. So a few scenarios what a good programmer right now would have to consider is right now we are living in a smart age. Everywhere we talk about smart instruments, smart phones and all these things. Now in our state, Kerala, the number of smartphone sales is greater than the number of desktops and laptops put together. So smartphones are the easiest way to access internet for all the individuals. And if you look at e-commerce activity, the total e-commerce transactions done by less than under 25 age is more than the total e-transactions done by the rest of the age segment. Which means the next 5 to 10 years, when the younger generation, people like you, become the youth and then they occupy the main economic arena, the smartphones and the compatibility with the handheld devices is going to be a big issue. In e-governance right now, one thumb rule we say is that in earlier days when we develop a software, we will say it is best fitting in Internet Explorer version 7 or best viewed in Chrome, so on, so screen resolution or Mozilla. Now that you just cannot fit in those paradigms. If you look at iOS, there are browsers and browsers like Safari, Mercury. You just go to the app and then search for a browser, you will get some 10 browsers. Each one has a pros and cons. The only thing which works out is that how effectively a software or an application fills in the entire segment. So the point I was coming is in e-governance right now we say that before an application is tested in any of these parameters, it should be mobile friendly. Because the number of sales of smartphones is more than the entire desktops and laptop put together. And laptops and desktops are mostly in the education and government segment. Commercially, only smartphones sales are more. In laptops, desktops we use in educational institutions or mostly in government institutions. So one thing I would like to, first point I would like to share is this application when you start developing. Think from the smartphone angle that it should be friendly to the people at the end. What does this imply? A person in a smartphone has a very limited screen. He or she does not have a big screen to do all these things. It should be so user friendly that a person would be able to interact in it. So that is the first point I would like to share. The second point is that we live in an age of aware customers. Aware customers in a sense, when we develop an e-governance application, the first thing we get is a customer literally bombards us with n number of limitations of the software. It does not have this, it does not have the flexibility of that, it does not have the scalability of Google and things on so forth. So what it means is a customer right now, like all of us, internet is an open platform. We use day in and day out so many tools and equipments on the net that we are aware of what are the best features of everything. When Orkut had a sunset, then Facebook was there. Facebook also right now it's almost facing a sunset when the new OTT services like WhatsApp, Telegram and all these things are coming. People have a limited time. People cannot go there, here. So probably Facebook also will have a sunset in 2 years. So what it means is that customers want more flexibility, and whatever suits their need, whatever is flexible, people will go for it. And when the software that we build is not flexible and meeting the expectation of the customer, it will automatically die. So the second thing I'd like to say is that we have to pick up the best features of all the available tools, which already most of you are using, particularly in the OTT tools like WhatsApp and all. And then try to incorporate those things in your software. So that was the second point I would want to say. The third one is the reusability of the software itself. Gone are the days when software used to be developed from the scratch. If you look at when all of you will get placed in companies, good companies, and you start working, you will find that right now the end customer does not have time for 6 months, 9 months to wait for the entire software development like cycle. They will take an equivalent project, take the base skeleton and start developing from it. So the software cannot be standalone. So you should have some skeletons which can be reused elsewhere, so that the economic value of the software that you produce also increases. In government we have this say like every taxpayer money is the taxpayer money, whether it's in Assam or Kerala or Jammu and Kashmir. So if a software is developed by government of Kerala, it can be freely used by any state government or central government in India free of cost. So we have over a period of time, at least in the last 1 year, I know so many good performing packages we have given free of cost to other state governments, and we have also adopted from them. So you will find that the entire software development is going to shrink. So until you come out with something exceptional with a reusable model, it's going to be very difficult. So please think from that angle. The final point I'd like to say is about open standards. Open standards are very important. You know, open source, open standard differentiation. Open standard means that your software should not be standalone. It should talk to all the software. So I cannot make a software now and say it will be only viewed in Windows. It will not work in iOS. It has to be an open standard. It should not be platform dependent. So please also think from those angles. Just random thoughts what I thought I will share. But the first point what I mentioned is very important. Please don't try to master the intricacies of a language like Python or Java or whatever. You should learn the art of programming. That is very important. And a person who knows the art of programming can succeed in their career extremely well. Because Python will come and go, tomorrow some other software will come and life will go on. It is very important on developing the art of programming. How do we make a program? How do we make a software? The intricacies what I mentioned, it should be scalable, the rugged, open platform, open standards. So all these things should be incorporated, and that will carry you to great length. I once again thank the organizers and the institute for having given me an opportunity to share my thoughts. Wish the participants all the best in this training program and their career. Good day.